Well, I've been kicked out of my near every bar around. I've been locked up for driving 120 through town. I've been shot at and cut with a knife, messing around with another man's wife. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show. Ash Brent is back.
Hi, everybody.
In his best Fetterman and cap.
It's a nice one. It's very warm.
Big change from where he was when he departed us.
Yeah.
Wednesday. Was that Wednesday?
I left here. I was here Tuesday. And then went over to the inauguration, which was fascinating, or the swearing-in ceremony. That was wonderful.
Wendy Hughes Garcia, first one in. Judge Posey. Scott Tomko is going to get third because Greg Garcia had a typo and hit the button a little too quickly. Then came back with a morning 3 people later.
So from the who does that list, you ever have like a who does that list? I go over to the legislature, and we get our little ticket that lets Sheriff Marr and I go and sit in the gallery. And by the way, the gallery at the state capitol of the House is to say vintage, it would be ridiculous. There's lots of wood, there's lots of leather, old books. It smells like
success.
No, what's the Will Ferrell? Anchorman. Smells like he ought to be in there. And so after Justin and I got our seats, and I dialed and made a couple of chiropractor appointments, because they're like 1930s theater seats, the hard curved back.
Wood?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And you feel like you're leaning forward, and so you're already upstairs. But they go through a roll call. Everybody's, all the representatives stand.
As they're called?
Yeah, they're saying no in total.
Okay.
And then they're like, District 1, so-and-so, District 2, District 20, District 30, A.J. Louderback, present. The lady that was conducting the show said, I'll call your name, respond, present. There were half a dozen people here. I just thought that was dumb. Like, if you can't follow that instruction, or you interpolate to do your own thing, that just makes you dumb. But they finally there's 100.
That's an easy punchline right there, but I'll let it go.
Go ahead.
Democrats.
Right, no doubt about it. Here.
Or libertarians.
And I will throw out that more than once it was here. Anyway, it was a lady more than once. But maybe half a dozen of those people. But they finally there's only 150 districts. They get to 149. So-and-so, so-and-so. Crickets. 149.
Going once.
So-and-so. No response. He looks around. The chairman says, keep going. 150, and the guy goes present. I don't know.
149 ever stumble in late?
No clue. All right, how are you late to your swearing in as a representative for the House of Representatives? I mean, I'm sorry. I was just like, are you kidding me? But it went off without a hitch. You should all be proud of Sheriff Louderback. He did great. And immediately after that, they went into session to elect the speaker.
Hubert Vo.
Hubert Vo is from outside of Houston, it appears. Where is he? I-10 and where?
Bunker.
Oh, yeah, he's right out just west, Derry Ashford, I-10 and just
Jersey
outside
Village.
Highway 6. So he's an idiot. Sorry, Hubert. If you can't be on time to get sworn into the House of Representatives, you're not much of a leader. But beautiful ceremony. Lots of, I will admit this, they had a judge get up who, for those of you that have ever gone to one of our court proceedings here, you do the pledge to the American flag, you do the pledge to the Texas flag. And the lady that was charged with doing that was a judge from Harris County. And she did get up and start off with, "I pledge allegiance to the Texas flag," which is not how the pledge begins.
Well, Kamala Harris screwed up the Pledge of Allegiance the other day, too. So.
I thought that was interesting that you had one job.
Kelly Fromme says he got stuck in traffic and then got privately sworn in. Again,
well, shame on him.
You've got one duty on Tuesday.
Hubert Vo should have been there a little bit early.
He should have been there the night before.
Now, I wonder if he's a freshman or not.
I'm sure he's got some campaign money he could have spent in a hotel room.
Absolutely. He's either a freshman who didn't understand Austin traffic, or he's been there a number of times and he just wasn't worried about it.
No, he's been there since 2005, so he just didn't give a crap.
That's the truth. It wasn't important to him. Yeah. Scott Togo says he misread the invite. He thought it was swearing at instead of swearing in. He didn't want any part of it.
No, not at all. Hey, Wade and Carter Weather brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerlam Hay Feed and Ranch Store. Stop on by. Get everything you need. Freeze misers. You're going to need one coming. Looks like they're calling for now like an inch of snow on Tuesday morning.
This is ridiculous. Listen to who lives here. We're going to have a bunch of Canadians coming down here.
They want to come for today. Well, they don't want to come for Monday, Tuesday when it's, 40 degrees and windy and cold and snowy.
You could recognize them. They'd all have on those gray bike coaching shorts. And they'd be out because they don't wear shorts. And they haven't bought shorts since 78. And they'd be out at the golf course glorifying in the weather in a plaid shirt and their gray bike shorts and their ashy white legs.
True story.
Canadians, eh? And probably wearing like some chukka boots.
I lived that before I became acclimatized to the weather down here.
No doubt.
Would be the only one at Riverside on a day when it was like 55 and windy.
In shorts.
In December, because I could never golf in December in Canada. And then I'd see a couple other people.
Be honest, from October to May, you couldn't golf in Canada.
But then I'd see a couple other people out there, and sure enough, we get to talking, and they were either from right below the Canadian border in South Dakota or from Canada.
And if they were a half hour late, they were from
Hubert Vo's district,
Newfoundland. 45 degrees in Victoria, heading to a high today of 71. 0 chance of rain, okay? Saturday, kind of the same, but here's the deal. 47 is the low, but the high is 5 degrees cooler at 66. Sunday, the windy comes. Low of 33. Monday, 30 degrees and cloudy with a chance of precipitation. That could be snow weather. And on Tuesday, there's a 70% chance of snow and a low of 29 degrees and a high of 37. Wow.
That's it.
We will rebuild. Don't think for a minute that we're going to take this. We're resilient people. We're Texans.
Speaking of resilient.
Pray for the grid. Pray for the grid. Let's talk resilient.
Yeah, let's talk resilient.
You got your phone up over there?
I think maybe not.
But the feed?
Yeah.
Let's see what this lovely lady has to say.
This is your favorite and my favorite Hawaii Senator, Mazie Hirono.
Chairman, welcome. As part of my responsibilities to ensure the fitness of nominees before any of the committees on which I asked the following 2 initial questions. First is, since you became a legal adult, have you ever made unwanted requests for sexual favors or committed any verbal or physical harassment or assault of a sexual nature?
No, Senator, I have not.
Have you ever faced discipline or entered into a settlement related to this kind of conduct?
I have not.
That is so silly. First of all,
is that really her role and responsibility to ask that question? Did they give that to her? Here, Mazie, you asked this question.
I think my problem would be, like I would say, no, ma'am, every sexual advance I ever made was wanted. I would just be that guy. Of course, I'd probably be, kicked out of the committee. But I'd almost say to Mazie, no, Senator, but if you'd like to talk about it over dinner, I'm available. If you could get a good look at Mazie, you would understand the humor of that. Who does that? To me, she is so condescending and arrogant. For all I know, she's a Republican. I mean, I doubt it, but for all I know, she's a Republican.
No.
But I'm
She's from
just like,
Hawaii. They don't elect Republicans in Hawaii. They never have.
how arrogant is that to go, when you got in, did they ask you that, Maisie? Did they ask you if you'd ever slapped an intern on the fanny?
Doug Burgum. He's only been the governor of North Dakota, and he was up for what? Department of Interior, Secretary of the Interior?
North Dakota.
Right below South Dakota.
Right there, close to
Yes.
the Canadian border.
It's
Yes.
actually south and east.
Of South Dakota.
Yes.
Yeah.
They just didn't know it at the time.
They didn't know. At the time, they thought they had reached the northernmost part.
They did.
And then they find out later that
There
it's
was
south.
actually a South Dakota.
It was a South Dakota up above.
The guy's been a governor. You don't think he's been vetted? I don't know. Just dumb.
I have to admit, the last couple of days, I missed Tammy Keeling. Do you remember that she literally fact-checked me on South Dakota doesn't share a border with the Canada? I'm like, no kidding.
Greg Garcia asks, why does Hirono always sound like she's tipsy? I don't know.
Well, she probably,
Might be.
English may not be her native tongue.
Scott Tomko checking in. Greg
Mark
Garcia, Kendra Douglas, Will Vincent, Stephanie Conti, good morning. Justin Glass, Linda Chris, Lisa Poole. There's Tammy Keeling, Daniel Wade White, Will Vincent,
Thanks,
David
Will.
Glass, Ryan Hopping, Bobby Leister, Mark Zapata, Junior Samples, Ed
Thank you,
Stewart,
Judge.
Heather Stewart, missed the Stewarts last night. Jordan Glass, Diana Hawes, Matt Boucher, Micah Patton.
You know, you have it on
Tammy
Thursday,
Williams.
so he can go to Bible study.
I know.
We custom do.
Scott Snow.
If people understood how many,
What a good turnout. And thanks to Lisa Poole, she kept the Wade and Carter streak alive yesterday.
so like we are thrilled to have for years now, White Trash Services and White Trash Site Services as great sponsors of the program. But I think BJ Nelson thinks we have like 8 listeners. She'll be like, oh no, it's like in live time, we'll announce that we're going to do something on Thursday, 3 weeks from now. And she'll send back, can you make that Tuesday? I just can't be there that night. I'm like, well, everybody can't be everywhere. I'm like, it's not like it's
I
not
don't
like
know.
it's
Andy
a-
Rokovich was at the school board meeting yesterday and still made it over to bingo. Just saying.
but it's not like it's a, a golf foursome. And we'll reschedule it because our 4th is not here.
No.
Oh, Wendy Hughes
Tea time.
Garcia with some applicable humor. She likes the tiny bubbles a little too much.
Maybe so.
Tiny bubbles. I'm gonna find that on a Friday, Freeform
Yeah.
Friday.
Acclaimed,
Anybody
acclaimed
anything
movie
good?
director David Lynch passed away yesterday. It was
We
announced,
talked about
70
Bob
years old.
Euchre.
Bob Euchre passed away yesterday. So who's the third one? We have a movie producer and Bob Euchre. Who's the third one? Brent Carter.
Me? I'm gonna pass.
Well, I mean,
Here,
You know.
play a little Don Ho.
all right.
Very good, Wendy Hughes Garcia. That is so. Is poignant the right word?
Tiny bubble and wine.
The Hawaiian Dean Martin.
I was just going to say,
Right. Happy. Hi, that's a great
it
song.
doesn't even sound Hawaiian.
Monica loves that one.
That's all we can play. Otherwise, we'll get
Yeah, they'll get chastised.
they'll stop us from playing something.
BJ Nelson says he could leave after public comment. That's why.
Yeah, that's why he was there.
It was
sharp.
Trustee Appreciation Month. Boy, but that's a short one.
Yeah,
She says there were steaks and gifts and steak dinner. It was lovely. That's nice. Good job, BJ. BJ, you do a great job. I think you have exceeded, if not expectations. I think you went in with the right attitude, and I think you've done a great job. Appreciate you being so active.
absolutely.
All of our school board people, Micah Patton's in there, all of them. It's a tireless, thankless job. And on the individual basis, I think they all do great work. As a group, maybe not so much all the time. You know, it's kind of like if I put a rope on a boat and we're all pulling different directions, doesn't matter how hard we're working, we ain't going nowhere. That's right. Thank you, Dearland Feed, for being such a great sponsor. Fantastic.
Zed said they would have been there. Heather was stuck at the Houston Stock Show art show yesterday.
Oh, good for her, though. That's a great event.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I think we've got a guest coming by about 7:30, I think.
Do we really? Sometime when you have
Surprise
nothing to do,
announcement.
why don't you just try to sit down and just sketch out the head of a horse? Just kind of do it at a 3/4 angle. Try to get your perspective right. The flare of the nostril, the bulge of the eye. Sketching just to make something not look flat.
And do it as a 5th grader and then have it win a major award in Houston.
Right. If I draw an apple, it looks like the Apple logo. My 12-year-old can draw an apple. You can see the curve. You can see the shadow. It's craziness.
Scott Nelson of the ABC banquet was yesterday.
Yes. Man, there really
Let's see
is.
the chamber banquets in 2 Thursdays. That was the only other viable Thursday this month. So yeah, it was yesterday or never.
A lot going on in Victoria. Should we take a quick break?
Yeah, let's take a quick break.
Let's do that. Listen to this, folks. Went Services, Went for all your electrical needs.
You can take the break. I've been doing it myself for 2 days now.
Went does a great job. Aaron Went, they'll come out, they'll give you an estimate for a turnkey generator. You probably have time to get it in before the freeze if you really get on it. I'm going to give you, like, I'm making this up, but I'm close. $12,000 to $16,000 financeable to cover your whole home. And you got to admit, if you were going to sell your house, if you were going to buy another house, and you drove up and on the side of that house was a Generac generator, you'd go, okay, these people are serious. Serious house.
Absolutely.
Do that.
Or just preppers and scared.
Right. Yeah. I get to keep all the MREs. Arcade Development Group, Daniel Rollins. I'm hearing some static in this microphone. You think it's just me? It's okay.
I think it's
just
you.
Me. Good.
I don't hear anything.
Arcade Development Group. Let Daniel come out and give you a quote.
Might just be your voice, not used to talking for the last couple of days.
Let Daniel give you a. Do I sound a little nasally? Hi, my name's Ronnie Dunn. He'll come out and give you a quote on a barn dominium. 35 years of experience. United States Marine owned. Not only will he build the building, he'll build it on a hill and defend it. The VCS companies for all your communication needs. Saw the entire Hinkie family, except for Kelly Hartman Hinkie last night. She was at some function. We were at Veracruz.
She's probably at ABC.
Keith said it was my night to cook. VCS company's doing great work for everybody. Brand us. Cody Bauman, producer extraordinaire, great friend, great guy. No question. If you knew some of the dumb questions I've asked this man, and he takes the time to just answer them, reach out to Brand Us today. You can find him on Facebook. You can find him everywhere. He's kind of like on the internet.
He is the internet.
He is the interweb. He is the illegitimate love child of Al Gore. Atzenoffer and atzenoffer.com for your next vehicle.
Al Gore, and who would be the illegitimate mom then? Certainly not Tipper.
No, not Tipper. I don't think Tipper ever actually did that type of thing.
No, she was against rock lyrics, remember?
Yes, and they made her, Misa.
Or was that Elizabeth Dole? I don't remember.
Moving forward, Atzenoffer for all your vehicles.
See how he's wanting us to move on? There's some smoke to our
got
fire.
some legs. You ever been to Tennessee? Yeah, okay, he's never been to Tennessee.
Oh, Hillary's the mom.
Neither has Al Gore. Al Gore's never been to Tennessee, although he was a senator from there. White Trash Site Services. Let's talk about that. You need to get rid of an unwanted old building before Daniel Rollins builds your new one. Reach out to White Trash Site Services, 550-1826, and let them show you how efficiently they can remove that old building. Once you get it built, call Chesnick. Chesnick and Love make your house a home.
You'll need to furnish it, and they can do that.
Get with Bobby Leon and let him and his family show you why you just always do better at Chestnut.
So let's start. Newsweek reporting that the Federal Trade Commission issued a report that found that the 3 largest pharmacy benefit managers in the country United Health Group's Optum, CVS's Health, CVS Caremark, and Cigna's Express Scripts marked up prices on important life-saving drugs that fight heart disease, cancer, and HIV by as much as 5,000%. Now, let's put that into context a little bit, because 5,000%.
It costs $1, you sell it for 50.
Yeah.
It costs $2, you sell it for 100.
Which, they do that at Walmart every day with the cheap Chinese crap. So we kind of were looking here and going, okay, well, what's to the tune of $7.3 billion in profit. And you and I have defended the drug manufacturers for some of the high prices because of the R&D and all that stuff. Yeah. All that they have to deal with. Lawsuits, even though the FDA has approved them. $7.3 billion with the B by marking these drugs up. The generic form of a leukemia drug, Gleevec, was collectively marked up by the 3 providers by 5,200%. Medicare is not absolved from this either. They marked it up 4,100%.
Yeah. Interesting.
So, yeah. Just throwing that out there.
Very. And then
you wonder why. And so, I mean, they know it's a racket. That's why. They know they can run unchecked with healthcare insurance, and they'll pay whatever needs to be paid. They'll set the prices in the case of drugs, apparently.
Morning, Uncle Norm. Do you think that they do this to give you the illusion of the insurance companies going to battle for you? That, well, it's $5,000, but we negotiated through our contracts down to 4, and we'll pay 80%. We'll pay the 800. You pay the other 200.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they negotiated with themselves to knock it off by 80% because they've marked it up by 5,000%. So even if they knock it down 80%, they're still making.
There's certain things
800%. I don't know. Not good
certain things that aren't fair. Like I'm not saying I'm not for it. I'm saying I don't understand it. I don't know how you can really deregulate electricity. I think you got to have it. So you kind of want the government to kind of oversee that. I know I sound like a Democrat. I'm not trying to, but practically, do you want to let the fox guard the hen house? Do you want AEP telling you how to manage the electric grid?
I think they do anyway.
Right. Secondly, things like pharmaceuticals, my gut tells me ought to be sold on a cost plus basis. Because the tablets themselves,
they do cost plus 5,000%.
That's crazy because the actual media with which you take the pill, that it costs nothing on the per pill. Nothing. And it's like, it is honestly like buying tea in a restaurant. Why do we pay $4 for a glass of tea? It's water and a 20-cent bag of tea, and you get tea. Is it that much? Yeah. Tea is free. They'll bring you water all day. Tea's $4. I don't get it.
I don't either.
But the airlines, for example, if you don't have some type of, if you truly left the airlines to supply and demand, it seems like they would keep cutting and cutting to undercut each other. And the next thing you know, you're going to start having plane crashes because there's not enough money to maintain the vehicles. 9 cents would make a gallon of tea, Commander Cody says. 9 cents. 9 cents. $4 a glass at a restaurant.
Linda Chris says don't use big names. It costs more. But I just showed you it doesn't. Generic. They were marking up generic 5,000%, 4,700% Medicare. Here's part of the problem. Every state has a Blue Cross Blue Shield. Blue Cross Blue Shield, Texas.
Right.
Blue Cross Blue Shield, Illinois. Blue Cross
Correct.
Blue Shield, California. When I get my car insurance, there's not a Progressive Texas. There's not a Geico Texas. It's just Geico across the country. Why?
I don't know.
Why is our health insurance artificially stopped at a border?
Makes sense. I think the original argument was, well, we're in, pick a clean state, Utah. Well, we don't want to take on the black lung of those coal mining states over there on the east side. That's where I think it started.
No, but we're willing to take on the crappy drivers in Florida that are 80 years old and cruising from the villages to Target every day.
True story.
I mean, I don't see any difference, but anyway.
BJ and Tammy are having a conversation about a guy named Mike Turner, who was the chairman of the House Committee, or the House Permanent being the key word, House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. This guy, Mike Turner, he's an Ohio Republican. He's been up there since 2015, became chairman in 2023. And in theory, what the committee does is a bipartisan disbursement of intelligence information to all of Congress. No, we're not giving, here's just the facts. Like on Dragnet. I was working the day watch out of Central. It's that deal. And for some reason, Speaker Johnson decided he didn't want that anymore. And I'd love to hear the quote.
Well, the AP is saying that Johnson said his decision to remove him was because the intelligence community and everything related to the committee needs a fresh start. I'm not going to argue with him.
Well, I'm not going to argue about that statement, but it does seem to me that Mr. Turner could make the argument garbage in, garbage out. I'm just here to make sure everybody gets it. Is he going, as you read there, is he going to install a new chairman, or are they going to do away with the House Select Committee?
No, I'm sure that there will be a new one, but he apparently doesn't really align. His views don't align with that of President Trump, according to the Associated Press. He's been a very vocal supporter of aid for Ukraine. So there you go.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll work out.
I mean,
my deal on this is I'm going to give Trump a flyer and say, look, you have been embattled since the day you walked down the stairs. You've got 4 years left, and I'm going to turn you loose, and you go do what you do. And if it's good, then we'll elect J.D. Vance. If it's bad, then unbelievably,
Big
we
Mike.
might have Big Mike or Kamala back in there. Unfathomable. Pray for our country. I am so hopeful that Donald Trump doesn't do too much Donald Trump stuff.
I don't know. We elected a president to do a job. Let's let him do the job.
I agree.
That's a problem I've got with some of the questioning and line of questioning with the Senate confirmation hearings, and I don't disagree that they need to happen. But when you've got Republicans, I get the Democrats are going to be against President Trump's picks.
Absolutely.
They're going to be against everything that a Republican president would do.
Let's take a
But
break.
when you got Republicans fighting against the president's choices, I just shouldn't happen at this point. Let's see what they can actually do. And if they don't do a good job, then you've got a reason to criticize.
It is an odd deal. He's a powerful guy. He's an outspoken guy. He's a vindictive guy. And yet Donald Trump is still being kind of harassed over what he wants to do.
I mean, is he vindictive? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I'll fire you. I'll sue you.
any more so than any other president we've ever had who's done the
No, but
exact same
everybody
thing?
else was part of the swamp, right? If you go back in our lifetime, everybody else was part of the system. The good old boy, I mean, Dick Cheney went with George W. Bush because, in fairness, George W. Bush was an idiot. So he took Dick Cheney with him because Dick Cheney was a Washington insider and a Washington long-term, devotee. I mean, that's the truth.
Probably a big donor.
You can be down here talking about nuclear and all that when you're George W. Bush and you're just governor and you just wear boots with your suit and look pretty cute. But when you get to D.C., you better know something about the president of Zimbabwe. And that's why Dick Cheney was always in his back pocket.
W probably couldn't spell Zimbabwe.
No. Zimbabwe. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to have guests for you. Commander, kill my mic, take the break.
There we go. Killing your mic. I'll take the break. Palace Bingo. We had a great night last night. Lisa Poole kept the streak alive. We will be back there in February, so come join us. We don't have the date yet, but we will set it, and hopefully far enough advance, and you'll be able to join us. USA Concrete Coatings for all your drab slab transformations. USA Concrete Coating has you covered. They can also level houses. Give them a call. Great folks doing great work. Veracruz, final day of the week is today to get into Veracruz and enjoy what we think is simply the best Mexican food in town. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Give Allen a call for all of your towing and wrecker needs. Allen's has you covered. All throughout Victoria and the Crossroads, they've got trucks stationed in places like Cuero and Refugio, so that if you're out driving and you break down, they can get it done for you.
There you go.
Dollar Floor Store right there on Navarro. Crestwood and Navarro, roughly.
Watch out for the bourbon.
And tile flooring, 39 cents right now, blowing it out at the Dollar Floor Store. Texas-owned business. They started in Bryan a few years ago. They've expanded to 2 other locations, one of which is Victoria. They think this is a great place, so let's support them, folks.
Don't forget the offices at 205. That's where we are. The good news is we leave at 8. We know none of you get to work before 8 anyway. So you can have this space up here. It's beautiful.
And those that do have office space here, they don't get here before 8 either.
Wow. Be Small just said Brent's cut mic sounds awesome.
We can do that again.
Be Small.
There we go. Yeah, just so you know, Arkansas Republican Rick Crawford has been named the next chair of the House Intelligence Committee.
I don't know Rick Crawford. Do you?
I don't know, but he kind of looks House Intelligence like.
He does it. Dun, 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 dun. Is that plaid tie still in style?
I don't know how old the picture is, but yeah, I think
solid point.
I mean, look at the guy. He looks like a former offensive lineman.
But now
you're going to tell him his tie doesn't look good?
No. He looks great. Yeah. Tell Fetterman you don't like him since the stroke. Yeah. See how that goes. Why don't you?
He's a House Intelligence Chair committee chair. I mean, he'll drop a drone strike on your butt if you question his tie.
Shove up mic number 3, and let's visit with a new guest. How about
let's do it.
Good morning, sir. Tell us who you are and what you're doing.
Oh, good morning, gentlemen. Thank y'all very much for having me on this morning. My name is Mickey Costella. I am running for School Board District 7, trying to take Mike Mercer's place when he retires.
Fantastic. Mm-hmm. Welcome. Tell me, I guess my first question would be, have you ever had kids in our school district?
I do. I have a senior at West High School right now. I have a recent graduate of A&M. She's my oldest daughter, Presley, and she's actually helped me run my campaign.
Nice.
My second daughter, Ashby, is a senior at West High School.
I think I know her.
Ashby Costello.
I do. I think so, yes.
My youngest daughter is a junior at St. Joe. We had her at Cade. She went 2 years at West, then we put her back over to St. Joe.
Fantastic.
Yes, sir. I'm from Victoria. I grew up here. I graduated from VHS. My wife is also from Victoria. She graduated VHS. My parents owned a seafood restaurant and fish market here in Victoria for almost 40 years, actually.
A fairly famous PK Seafood, right? Fairly famous place. Everybody liked
PJ Seafood, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. That was my first job.
Shucking oysters.
Peeling shrimp.
Peeling shrimp, filleting fish, we've just trying to get this campaign going. I want to get my name out there.
Yeah, Tammy Keeling's our undercover brother. She says, I saw you at the school board meeting.
I was there. I went
Yes.
to the school board meeting. I also went to bingo last night.
Good for you.
And I didn't win anything.
Didn't win.
You know what we
anything.
always say is that when you see people at city council meetings or at school board meetings, it's because they're running for office. Because otherwise, there's no real reason to be there. Unless, what do you feel? You know, if I said, "Hey, I mean, you're running for the office. What do you feel is important right now in the district? What would you be on board for?"
So main thing is I'm really looking forward to working with the new superintendent, Ms. Sheila, and trying to grow our community, trying to build upon previous, administrations, trying to live up to Mike Mercer's legacy a little bit, build upon what we can. I'd like to see our town grow with kids through the school district. I've seen the good, I've seen the bad.
Sure.
I've seen what it used to be in the 90s when I was there. I know we have potential to be great, and I want to see that. I want to see that through.
Isn't it funny? And I know that when we look back, as we get a little bit older and we look back, we do forget the bad, or there might have been some bad that we just weren't aware of.
Right.
But isn't it funny?
Or we were the bad.
Right, but that's in Canada. But isn't it funny how you look back and yes, Victoria High and Stroman were vastly different, but it seemed like everybody was happy.
It did, for sure.
You know, and that doesn't mean you don't have change.
Right.
It just means you
We
gotta
had,
you gotta manage the change.
I don't know. I talked to anybody that went to Stroman, and they're like,
They're still
"Oh,
proud, Stroman.
They're still
Raiders.
proud, Stroman.
They were.
Yeah.
They were. I had
But,
friends at
you know-
Stroman. I had friends at VHS. I had friends at St. Joe. It was still Victoria. We were
But a
still
lot of them
community.
envied what VHS has because they didn't have it at Stroman. They didn't have, they didn't have the weight room and the
weight room,
Some of
we-
that stuff.
you know-
was,
Well, we could have fixed that for 140 million bucks,
Yeah.
pretty easy. But I look back and as I've traveled and as my kids have gone to schools in other towns, we didn't have much at Victoria High either.
There wasn't, no, sir. Our weight room, it was my dad graduated from VHS, and it was probably still the same weight room he had.
Right.
And my brother was a VHS graduate. We both played football. And we got new jerseys every year because
Right.
one thing Stroman didn't have that we has, we would win our district every year. We were undefeated, and
Winning solves a lot of problems.
it does. It brings in a little bit more money.
Well, I think that leads into kind of what you're doing.
I
You're
put your
saying-
name up here. Did I spell it right? Kostella?
Yes, sir.
All right,
That's
good.
correct.
You think
On a
about
flyer like that,
Yeah,
just
it's-
took it.
how winning solves a lot of problems. I think that applies to our schools as well.
It does.
If our whatever measuring stick is used, if we do better, athletics do better.
Yes, sir.
Teacher pay does better.
Correct.
Discipline is more strenuous.
Yes, sir.
Cities do
Absolutely.
better. Cities grow.
Cities grow.
Cities can grow with it. Yes, sir. I mean, a large company wanting to move to Victoria, they're going to look at our performance as a school, and
Yeah.
if it's poor, they might move down the road.
Yeah, for those on radio, we were visiting with Mickey Costella. He is running for District 7 in VISD, Victoria Independent School
And
District.
that's a seat that Mike Mercer currently occupies, and he is not running for reelection.
Brian Small says Brent can give you some tips on running a winning campaign.
Yeah, I'm right there. I can get you 800 votes today. Yeah, yeah.
I'll take them.
I joke all the time that I'm really thankful that I'm not mayor, because now I'd be in my third term and I wouldn't be any more powerful than I am.
How do you
right
feel?
now.
How can you help? Because the board seems to get heaped with all the criticism for why the district fails, and the board really their role is very limited in scope. So how do you if you win, how do you how do you make the change, or how do you be the change agent maybe that starts the ball moving in a different direction?
I think transparency is key. I think the more the community knows, the more the community is involved with the school, the better everything will be. We'll grow as a community. We'll grow as a school district. The more everybody is involved, the more everybody knows, the better we all do.
I think in today's environment, you just show up to that first meeting in a skirt and demand it. Just go, I've got demands. Here's my manifesto.
I don't have any skirts that fit.
We appreciate that. You've got my vote.
No, I'm more of a jeans kind of guy. Yes, sir.
I respect that. Very
How do
much.
you get the, I mean, you mentioned transparency, and that word to me always tells me there's something to hide, which I don't think there is with the VISD. But as a board member, how do you get out in front of folks then and basically break that stereotype down that they're not being as forthright?
Your radio show is a great place to start.
Amen.
I just think open conversations is key to a successful school, successful in life and everything. I can't stress that enough. And I think to hire and retain the best teachers that VISD can get. It's great for the students. We've got to just keep moving forward.
It's where it starts.
I'll tell you that for those of you watching on Facebook, it's easy to take Mickey seriously when he has the little angel of Bob Ross sitting on his left shoulder.
Is he?
He's right behind you there on that.
All right.
So
Yeah, you got
when
Bob Ross on the one shoulder, and you got Mr.
you got
Bill,
Mr.
on, the
Bill
other.
on the other. Oh, yeah, you got Bob Ross and Mr. Bill.
I hope it turns out more like a Bob Ross painting for you
Right.
than a Mr. Bill skit
And that-
on
I
Saturday
do
Night
too.
Live.
I do too.
Maybe that should be the motto of the VISD school board. No mistakes, just happy accidents.
Just happy accidents.
That's right.
Absolutely right.
So I mean, we're flattered that you came out here on our
Absolutely.
show
Thank
and
y'all
announced
very
your
much.
candidacy. But as you were kind of mulling this over, what was that process like? Because that's one thing I don't think I've ever asked a candidate why, or how'd that go? What made you want to do this? How did the conversations go? That
It's
maybe
the money, isn't it?
No. So my daughter Ashby, she's been a senior at West.
3 years now.
We've been this in the fall we had 9 lockdowns in a week, 2 weeks, whatever it was. And that shows that was, as a parent, it was scary for one. And it's disruptive. The kids didn't learn. That whole day was wasted. That whole week was wasted. And they're now everybody's behind. It's just when that all happened, and I heard that Mike Mercer was retiring, I went to my wife, and she was hesitant at first, but then as things progressed, we got talking more. I met with Mike. We talked. I met with Andy a few times, and we've talked about it, and we just decided that we were going to jump in and get it done, and see if we can get elected.
I think that's awesome. And I tell you what,
I think you went to the right people. Your wife obviously needs to be involved and
She does,
has your
yes,
back,
sir.
and that's great. But I mean, you went and talked to Mike Mercer, and there's a lot of people that won't do that. They'll just run, and they won't talk to the folks that are in the trenches every day.
Right.
So-
I felt it was necessary before I could make the decision and actually put my name in the hat. I wanted to meet with Mike to see what he had to say. And
isn't he a nice man?
he's
a nice man. Were
And
y'all friends before?
we've met, we've known of each other, but not so much, just acquaintances mainly. But when we decided to do it, we were going to hit the ground running. My oldest daughter, Presley, is running the campaign. Facebook pages. I'm not on any social media. I never have been.
Now you are.
Smart
Watch
man.
out.
Yeah. So that's where she comes in. And she's been doing great so far.
Answer this question for me, Mickey. Any truth to the rumor that because Andy Rokovich was looking sharp last night when he popped into bingo, and I've never seen him look that sharp. No knock on Andy. I'm just saying I've never seen him look that sharp. Any truth to the rumor that Mike Mercer gifted him that sport coat he was wearing?
I don't know. But
I swear I've seen Mike wear that
thing-
same jacket.
that jacket, Andy is a Longhorn, but his jacket last night was A&M colors.
That's why it wasn't from Mike, because it wasn't Baylor green anywhere in there.
Bless his heart. In that regard, Mike Mercer is fairly consistent, right?
We've got a question from one of our listeners, Junior Samples. Well, let me see if it is a question or is it just a comment. But maybe there's a question in here.
You got to read it like
Yeah.
pig Latin almost. Money
Money-
doesn't fix poor outcomes. Tossing cash at this school will just make the problem fat, not fixed.
I know it's early. Have you dived into that side of things, the budget? Because everybody, and I mean, we've had Randy Myers on here, and he's very well explained that there is not a lot of fat
Good
in the
resource for you,
VISD
too.
budget.
I met him at the school board meeting.
You can
last
ask
night.
Randy for a copy of anything you want, and he can get it for you.
He had on his tie last night at the school board meeting was $100 bills through the whole thing.
Yeah, nice.
No, you know,
That's
as far
his
as,
sense of humor.
as far as budget and things like that go, look, I'm real new to this, and I have not dug into any of it. I couldn't answer a single question about it, but if I'm elected, I will dive in as deep as I can into.
No, but
every-
you've worked with budgets, and I mean, you understand,
I do.
debits
I
and
have.
credits.
And you know, I couldn't tell you anything about the VISD budget. I've never seen anything with it. But if I'm elected, I will dive into it the deepest I can and just do the best I can for it. Whatever's best for the school, whatever's best for those kids and my community. That's what I'm going
I
to do.
think that's awesome. I mean, I tell you what, if you start out from the premise of what's best for the kids, the school, and the community, you
go
can't
wrong.
run a bad campaign.
More parents involved like you. I mean, this is the ultimate involvement for a parent, in my opinion, is jumping in and being a school board member when you've got kids in the district. So I commend you on that. That's
Thank you
awesome.
very much. Thank you.
Well, we appreciate you taking time to come in.
Because there aren't many. BJ Nelson will tell you, it can be a pretty thankless
No, there's
gig.
no doubt.
Right.
There's
You're
no
gonna
pay.
get barbs thrown at you.
You get a
That's fine.
lot of heat. You get a lot of blame for things that you as a school board member and a school board don't do
Right.
or
Right.
can't do.
I've got broad shoulders. I can handle it.
Amen.
That's awesome.
Do this for us. I love the idea that you're a VISD product and that you're trying to give back to the community and your heart's in the right place. The rest of it can be learned.
Correct.
Do this for us over the next couple of months. Come back. I was almost said circle back. Almost
do that.
forgotten
We don't-
Jen
yeah.
Psaki.
Come on back and
Come
tell
on
us
back
what you're hearing
and
and what
tell
you're
us
learning.
what you're because I know
Absolutely.
you're going to be knocking on doors and visiting with people.
We
And
are.
I'll give you a head start. You're going to find out that I believe the majority of Victorians operate in ignorance. They do. That the district's fat. The district's got more money than they know what to do with. The district's just wasting money. That's wrong. It's not correct. And I think you're going to find that most of them, once they get past griping about their school taxes, are going to be the most concerned about the safety of our children.
Right. There's
And
safety.
if we can focus on, it's a double-edged sword. We need discipline inside the walls,
Right.
and we need security outside the walls.
Absolutely.
If we can focus on that, we can build a good school because the teachers are solid people.
Yes.
The administrators are good people. Everybody's pulling the wagon in the same direction. It's just a matter of getting it taken care of.
Getting
So
it done. That's it.
I
So,
applaud you for the courage to get into the arena, sir.
Thank you very much.
And this is an arena filled with lions.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Awesome.
Well,
Great. Gentlemen, thank you very
hey,
much.
we appreciate
Costello, thank you
you
very much. Appreciate
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Keep us posted.
I will.
God bless.
I will, and I will be back.
Absolutely. That's Mickey Costello, and that's
That's
awesome.
a threat and a promise.
Yeah, coming back. Yeah, you bet, Mickey. Ash, that reminds me, I want to tell you about just a quick attaboy to my dear friend Randall Lewis that passed away. He, this is something I would picture from you in your Calgary days. You're very proud of where you came from. You're
Absolutely.
it means a lot. And Randall was a guy that when I met Randall, 6'5", real skinny though, but 6'5", and being an only kid and being fascinated at meeting people literally from all over the world when I first got to UT. You know, when I lived here, I met people from Edna. You know, you get to Texas, where are you from? I mean, I met a 25-year-old Jewish kid that had been in combat, been in the military in Israel. You know, it was awesome. And I asked this kid, this tall, lanky kid that I'd met, and said, I'm Brent, I'm Randall. I go, where are you from? And he goes, Paris, Texas. Like, almost like, you got a problem with it? Are you going to give me grief for being from a small town? And I knew I liked him right away. I thought it was always, I'm from Paris. You know, like you couldn't help but like the guy.
Texans must have either missed their hometowns or had a longing for places they'd never been when they named
Yeah, Paris,
Cities.
New
Italy-
London,
Italy.
New Boston.
Swiss Alp.
There is a little Paris tower, there is a little tower in. Now,
Brian Small giving Junior Sample some grief this morning, asked him if he's typing with his ear.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. I mean, he's sitting on the toilet.
I don't know. Maybe, I mean, if that's word to text, voice to text.
And here's what I get from Junior. It's a live radio program, and he comes in like 3 minutes later with his type adjustments. Like, we've already read it. We've already had to interpolate your pig Latin by the time Lisa says, "Good morning, Mickey."
Yeah. Brian Small says, love the Junior Samples word scrambles.
Yes. Even Junior spelled wrong. No,
He had to spell it wrong. Otherwise he would have gotten,
there's House District 30 Representative AJ Louderback.
I know the story on this one. It's a Facebook thing. If he would not have said or spelled Junior Samples the way he did, they would have come after him for falsely impersonating somebody actually named Junior Samples. So
and of course they wouldn't have, because what has he got? Like 8, 9 listeners somewhere that listen to him. Yeah.
No, but Facebook would, because Facebook is vindictive like that.
So Ash and I joke, we love Junior, man. I mean, Junior is beyond family. So
he's fam. He's not family. He's
nobody
fam.
gets much more grief than me, but Junior is close. And here's what's so hilarious, and I'm interpolating, but Ash and I had discussed when I knew I was going to be gone. Ash said, I think I'm going to try to do the program by myself. I don't know how to describe it. I mean, I'm certainly not an artist, but you want to stretch yourself a little bit. Can I do it? Can I pull off an hour?
Well, as I told you, you're
My
older than me.
Clearly, no, I can't.
You're
do
older
it.
than me, and when you die, if I want to carry it on, I'm gonna have to do it by myself for a while.
I should have left you laid on the floor over there at the old studio. The show should have just gone on. And what you hear Ash down there flopping like a flounder in the bottom of the boat. I'm going to take a break and just like kick him out into the lobby. Should have left him there wallowing. But anyway,
there's only one flounder.
What's funny is, and we love him for it. And Brother Man's here, and I'm telling Brother Man the story. Junior is dutiful to say, "Hey, if you need a hand, give me a call." And he's always so willing to come in and so good to come in. And he tells Ash, "Man, if I'd have known Brent was going to be out of town, if you'd have called me, I'd have come in." Ash goes, "I know." So great. I know you would have. That's why I didn't call you. So classic. No, we love you, Junior. You're the best of the best of the best.
Scott says we can laugh now, but that was a scary day.
It was a scary day. And I'll tell you something else, Scott. I honestly don't ever make fun of Ash for that. It was a very
there's enough other people that do.
No. It just
still our most watched episode ever because people just went going back and watching.
We need to start referencing it. Go back on Facebook to October or whenever.
Scott Tomkos, Brian Small says my solo 2 days solo was worth a shot, but now we know it won't work.
Right, that's nice. Mark Kurtz agrees that was a scary day.
Yeah, the brother man is in.
The brother man's in. Let's get the brother man in here. Where's the applause? It's mandatory.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Applause, Mike. It's all there.
It's there, sir. How are you, great one?
I'm good. I saw your son last night over there at the West Football Banquet. Had over 500 people.
Yeah.
A big crowd. He came up to me and I asked where you were, and he said, "You're resting. You had a lot of driving."
Take this man to man, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You should wear more blue. You have the prettiest blue eyes. I mean that sincerely and with
my daddy had blue eyes.
Complete masculinity.
Blue eyes.
He looked good. I don't know about me, but
you look great. And you
brothers got blue eyes.
Think about it. You'll wear a light blue tie on occasion, but you don't wear a lot of navy. You're more of a gray. Somewhere Marvin O'Neill got all up in your palate back in the 80s.
Marvin sold. I went with what Marvin
Amen.
said.
Boy, didn't you?
We did.
Wasn't that great to have? I don't know what men do. You know what men do now?
It.
Men just buy T-shirts. There was something special when my mom and dad would allow me to go to Melvin's, and
that was big.
That was big, man.
That was big.
Little Elton for you. But we used to go in.
That was big, baby.
And I can remember Melvin Dusick standing over there. Carter, come on in. We'll get you. Oh, get you a party shirt. Get you a party shirt. What can we help you? What can we help you?
Apparently, it didn't stick.
No,
we're in
from
the
the back, you would hear somebody like Eddie T go, with Melvin, with. What can we help you with?
Here's the thing. At Melvin's, you get your you never saw a bill.
That was the great thing.
They just stick it in the back.
Yeah. And you were just like,
you
what?
never knew what you were paying.
And then they'd mail you a bill. I mean, by the time you got it, you already had pit stains in the shirt. You couldn't take it back.
All right. I remember. So good, wasn't that?
Oh,
That was
man.
great. Man, oh, man. Good
I
stuff.
can remember being a kid and just going, man, if I could only have a Hickey Freeman suit,
Oh.
you know?
You had the best of the best down there.
Yes, sir.
That was a good times right there.
Does that
He would have got
exist
stuff
anymore? Is there still a Norton Ditto in Houston, or do these things still exist? These high dollar. I don't want to just walk in and buy a Valentino
Brooks
suit,
Brothers,
but
right?
yeah, but I don't. I see. I never
don't
liked
know.
the fit of a Brooks Brothers suit
Yeah,
because it was built for somebody a little bit more fit.
I was Melvin's. I stayed in Melvin's
Yeah.
all the way through. Good
I
times.
remember when we thought it was heresy that they came in with the Jack Victor line. And what beautiful sport coats Jack Victor still makes.
See, you got good taste.
No,
You have
man.
good taste.
I can clean up. I just don't do it at 7 in the morning.
Now, you boys look sharp when y'all want to be. You are. You look sharp. I don't know any other way.
What games do we have going on, brother?
All
Man?
right.
Where's the
Well,
action?
first
this
off,
week?
what's going on this weekend that you're
Yeah,
going to be?
There
at?
you go.
Texas Flood. I want to mention that Stevie Ray
Stevie
Vaughan.
Ray Vaughan.
The tribute band is going to be down there. Let me give you a little history. I saw one of Stevie's last concerts. It was that Miller Lite Texas tour. You remember that back
Yes, sir.
late 80s? You were a kid.
Yes, sir.
And I went down there. It was at the Astrodome. And Stevie Ray opened up for The Who. Oh, man, sold out. Over 50-something thousand in the Astrodome. They had the baseball field was full and everything around it. And Stevie Ray put on a heck of a performance. And The Who is great.
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
so
no doubt.
that's one of my
In the
few
80s,
concerts
the
I
Who
ever
was
saw.
still going.
I never
Yeah.
pictured you as a Stevie Ray Who concert going kind of guy.
David
It's
Hartman
like
gave
the
me a couple-
Hartmans drug him
he
out
gave me a
there.
couple of tickets. Let's go,
They
man.
always drug Gary because he'd keep him out of trouble.
Right, I was right there
True
with him.
story.
Junior bringing some value this morning. The word is haberdashery.
Yeah.
And I think he
Haberdashery.
spelled it right, too.
I just don't think we really have. I know we don't have one in Victoria.
No,
I think they're few and far between now.
yes, sir. But good stuff. That was a great concert. So I got the ticket sales. They said they had sold about 400 tickets. Only seats 475 at the Wellness Center. They sold up to 400 tickets by Wednesday of this week.
And everybody else will be at the Republican Gala.
And that's where the two big events are right there.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. And I had couple of things before the games. Carson
Because
Beck.
Mark Kurtz needs a tip, so we're
What does he need?
gonna
Mark
ask
Kirk says he needs a tip, Texans or Chiefs. We're going to get to that. Hang on.
Okay, well, let's do it. Well,
No,
I
but
want to
tell
give
us about-
Carson Beck, because I know you like tidbits. Carson Beck, Georgia quarterback, was going to declare for the draft. He said no.
Yeah, because he's getting 4.8 million from Florida or whatever he's getting, or
8 million.
Miami.
They were upped it to $8 million.
Did
$8
they
million.
really?
University of Miami. But that wasn't the tip over. What tipped him? What got him? The $8 million?
His girlfriend's there, right?
Plays basketball for Miami.
Yeah, and she is cute.
Yeah.
Well,
But,
that and he wasn't going to be drafted high, and he probably won't play in the NFL as a starting
right.
I'm
quarterback.
just telling you, if I'm 22 years old and you give me $8 million cash,
I'm staying.
I might just be able to marry my college sweetheart
stay
and
in
stay at the
school?
house.
Yeah.
I might be done. $8
Maybe not in
million.
Miami,
million?
but still.
Would you be done?
I mean, that's like you give me $8 million. That's like making $200,000 a year for
Right.
40 years. You ought to be able to. That's a career.
Absolutely.
if that doesn't do it, what does?
Yeah.
Man.
And I heard that Quinn Ewers also, they offered him $8 million too. Several teams, they didn't come out and say which ones, but Bill Belichick was looking at Quinn Ewers to try to bring him to North Carolina. And I heard the amount as high as $8 million. Some offers.
That is
We're not-
just crazy.
Yeah, there was some guidance on NIL issued by the Office of Civil Rights yesterday. We'll get into that on Monday because we don't have enough time, but it's gone beyond what NIL
Yes,
was
sir. It's
intended
crazy.
for.
Okay, so
All right.
we got the Texans and the Chiefs. The
Chiefs had
are
the bye.
obviously gonna
Chiefs
win
had
this
the
game.
bye week.
Yeah, the home teams usually,
Chiefs are 8.5 point favorites.
right? Well, I want the Texans to win, but it's going to be hard to beat
I think
Chiefs
the
here.
Chiefs win. Chiefs cover.
Chiefs. I want the Texans, but Chiefs
I do
cover.
too. I'm pulling for the Texans.
But how many close games the Chiefs had? Man, close games.
Well, you're right, but they've had a lot of games where they came back from behind. But this is money time.
This is money time.
and they're the
Money
Chiefs.
ball.
They're the
And
Chiefs.
we've only had one close playoff game, and that was the Commanders and
that was
Buccaneers.
the only one.
and they've been able to rest too. The Chiefs have. So now the other game that's I guess
in the AFC.
well, let's go over here
Oh, okay.
on the 18th. You've got the Lions and the Commanders. The Lions are now 15-2. The Commanders have had a good season. I think it ends.
I think it ends for the Commanders. They've had a good run. Detroit, all the way at home.
Yeah, 9.5-point favorites.
I don't know.
lot of
I think it is a lot of points in the
But
NFL.
the home teams,
I think I'd take
The
Detroit.
Chiefs games on
Detroit.
ABC and ESPN for those of you that are fans and want to watch. The
both
Lions
Saturday.
games on Fox on
Lions
Saturday.
games on-
And Sunday's game, the first one's the Eagles and the Rams on NBC/Peacock. 2:00 start.
there could be an upset here.
Eagles and Rams. You think the Rams may beat them?
Rams and all the stuff that's going on in LA, and they played a heck of a ball game against Minnesota.
Destroyed
I
them.
mean,
So the Rams defense really looked good, but I don't know that they can. They didn't face a
Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, that's 6.5, right?
Yeah.
Eagles. Eagles, I'm not a fan of.
But I
like
think the
seeing
Eagles
upset.
win, but I would take the Rams to cover.
Rams
Is that
to cover.
fair?
I like the Rams close, and maybe they put an upset.
Maybe the best game of the weekend could be the Bills-Ravens matchup.
Even Steven.
Okay,
Baltimore a
this,
slight favorite,
this Baltimore
even though the
team
Bills
has
have
been-
home field.
In Buffalo territory.
But the Ravens team has just been like, you talk about peaking at the right time. They have been on fire, Ash. I don't know who wins that game.
Toss up.
I'm going Buffalo
I
because
am
it's
too.
home.
I'm taking Buffalo as well.
Give them the home field advantage, even though the odds makers don't do that. And that's
Baltimore
rare.
1-point favorite, right?
Yeah.
Well, that Lamar Jackson
Such
and
a
Josh
great
Allen,
player.
those two great quarterbacks right there.
Should be fun. Should be a
be good.
great weekend of
Should be-
football.
And Monday night, Notre Dame and Ohio State.
Watch what I'm going to tell you. It
Come on.
should be, Ash,
Should
a
be.
great weekend of professional football. I'm going to tell you that two of these games are going to be duds.
Yeah.
I don't know which two.
And the
You're moving.
Ravens, Ravens and Bills played in week 4, and the Ravens just stomped them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
I,
did.
I just have a feeling that two of these games you're going to go, ugh,
They're going to say, I don't want to
that
watch.
was terrible. Buffalo, I guess Buffalo will be outside. Could be snowing.
Yes, sir. Oh, you know it, man.
You know what they say. You can't beat Buffalo because Buffalo has the juice.
Remember that? Notre Dame, Ohio State. You pick it already? Did y'all pick
Monday, we haven't picked it. We were going to wait till Monday.
We'll
but-
wait.
well,
Ohio
are we doing
State.
a show on Monday? I don't know. It's a
Martin
holiday.
Luther
Yes.
King.
Everybody's off.
That's not a holiday.
It's a holiday for everybody.
Is it?
Everybody's off. School.
Schools out.
President's
Schools
Day.
out. All banks.
We might need to
close
be here just to do our duty to tell everybody who's going to be closed on Tuesday.
Yeah,
The
and that-
weather alert.
And we are set for the Martin Luther King Walk celebration. It will happen, but the ceremony will happen at Bethlehem Baptist Church.
Well, that's because it's Monday.
11
I
o'clock.
mean, it's going to be chilly, but it's not going to be like
it's not going to
Tuesday.
be ice.
Are you going to go make the march?
Been doing it for
I've done it.
years. You have too. I've been
Yes,
with
sir.
you. You
Junior
walked-
Sybil says Brent married his junior high sweetheart. Yeah, she was in junior high when I was
Oh, she was in elementary school.
out of college.
I think Brent was graduating as she was being born.
Let's don't do a lot of math, Ash. Let's don't do a lot of math.
Good stuff. Hey, y'all got a shout out on Keep Victoria Beautiful Volunteer Night. Y'all got a shout out. We got a shout out.
I
for
appreciate that.
helping them out, and also UHV baseball.
Thanks, Christy.
team.
The check's in the mail.
Thanks, absolutely.
And UHV baseball team
Yeah,
got a
USA,
shout out.
UHV got a nice award, the Power in Numbers Award, because we sent a
We got
ton
it all.
of student athletes over there to help clean up.
We went there for a little bit before we went to the Blue Mountain Youth Ranch raffle drawing.
Kickoff and
Yep,
announcement.
we did
Scott
that.
Taylor Band's going to be the band.
That's going to be
April
fantastic.
25th.
April 25th, 26th.
He
Nice.
saw the money the Drifters are making with their farewell tour, and
Yeah.
Scott said, "Hey, let's work this thing
Yeah.
out."
Why not?
I told Dawn the other day,
Too young to
anytime,
farewell it.
anytime Dawn and I get remotely sideways, I just tell her, "Hey, we've got to work it out." My third wife's still in the 8th grade.
True enough.
All right, love
True
you
enough.
guys.
Love y'all. Thank
Have
you.
a great weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Brother man. Thank you for all
Thank
you do,
y'all.
sir.
God bless.
God bless everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
Bye, folks.
Bye.
I'm kicked